And now for something completely different.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What I do is I look a woman up and down and I say,
I'm coming to join you, bitch.
Oh, that too far?
Oh, you want to get into things?
Well, I mean...
No. Let's get into things. Let's get real. Everybody, Bojack wants to get real. Cancel the bubble round, because we're getting real.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of No Time to Binge. Am I hosting this one, right? Is that how this works?
You're
Okay,
the
that's fine.
host of the show, Zach.
Always.
I should stop asking then, because you guys aren't responding. Anyway, welcome to the newest episode of No Time to Binge, a show where we just watch the first episode of something and the last episode of something and make up a whole bunch of shit in the middle just to see if we're going to find some time to binge it. And we have an amazing show today because B selected the show we're watching, which means it's going to be a very cool show, but one that no one has heard of outside of certain anime circles. Yeah. But before we get into that, you know, obviously we got the same old crew of misfits. B the Infinity, Sideways 8. How are you?
Hey, what's up, bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's a direct quote from the dub.
No, I'm into that.
Yeah.
Skater boy. How are you, sir?
Super. I'm ready to skate some boards and kiss some boys.
Road Rash, how are you, my friend?
I'm fine.
How's that self-made snowboard going?
I mean, it's gave me road rash, so
yeah. It's a snowboard,
it's heavily contagious.
Street the road rashes?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it from somebody else. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Anyway,
now Skate Master Z, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm doing so good. Like I was talking to you guys before we started recording. I normally just watch very bad stuff. Very bad things. I like watching bad horror movies on Amazon Prime. I like watching very bad television shows and then getting upset at the time I wasted. But and that's one of the reasons that I you know, kind of half created the show, was because I wanted to watch real crappy stuff and just make up stuff. But unfortunately, B has great taste in content, so we get stuck with another beautiful anime called SK8 the Infinity. SK8 the Infinity, never heard of it. Absolutely cool show. Have you guys heard of this before? B suggested it.
No.
Yeah, right on. So before we get into what SK8 the Infinity is about, we had some questions from our last episode. Now, last episode we did was on my so-called life, and that was for a charity event. So it ran a little bit different than we normally do. And what we do is we find the plot holes that we missed or the questions we missed, and then, you know, repose them with our Patreon members and all of our friends and family everywhere. And we actually didn't miss anything on my so-called life. There was no plot holes because there was no plot, which is about a sad person. So I polled our Patrons and all of our social media friends, and I got them to ask some questions of the panel like we do sometimes. So if you guys are okay with this, we have some questions from our panel before we get into the show. All right, that's fine. All right, so we're gonna say that's okay.
Yeah, go for it. All shook our heads, yes.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking. I was listening. Okay, B. Shaquille Oatmeal would like to know if you could live in anyone's head for 60 minutes.
buried the bit there by not emphasizing it right, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry. Shaquille Oatmeal.
Thank you.
Is that right? No, solid name. Shaquille Oatmeal, super friend of the show. Shaquille Oatmeal would like to know, B, if you could live in anyone's head for 60 minutes, who would you choose and why?
I would pick Shaquille Oatmeal, actually, and figure out how he came up with that amazing name. That is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got
no,
some good
I
stuff
would
going on.
exist there for 60 minutes and steal all of their good ideas because clearly they are full of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
Okay, let's see. Skate T your boy. Hanging with my nomies would like to know if you could choose anyone in the world to become friends with, who would you choose? That's it. All right, honestly, that's a dumb question, guys.
Yeah, that's not a great
If,
question.
you know, when I ask you guys for questions, will you please like leave good questions that people want to know the answers for?
Yeah, and
We should
to
put a
ask it-
writer. We should put a writer in that Patreon thing where it's like we have the discretion to refuse your questions. Like,
Yeah, for
and
real.
to ask it to me, I don't want to be friends with anybody.
I know.
I
That's
have
true.
too many
Avril
friends
Lavigne?
as it is.
Avril Lavigne, she's got some friends. Okay, I guess I'm gonna pick another question here. Okay, so skate tier boy, if you could be a kid again just for one day, what age would you choose to be?
8.
That's the correct answer.
it's in your
Okay,
name.
road rash. Who's your daddy would like to know. So some of these are really bad.
The names or the questions?
No, the names are great. Questions are not that good.
Wait, who's your daddy? Like they're from, is that Indiana or Illinois?
Yeah, they're
Oh.
who's your
Who's your?
I think they're a basketball player. Who's your
whatever.
daddy?
You
Would like
the
Fucking
problem is that you buried the lead with the first good name, and now they all sound crappy after that.
well, hanging with my nomies is pretty good.
It was okay, but it was no Shaquille O'Neal.
It really wasn't. No, I'm disappointed now.
Wait, you think I make this up? You think I spend time out of my day to come up with stupid usernames
No,
and
but you
stupid
should have
questions
done
just
you
to
should have
complain
done
about
that
the
one
questions that
last.
I make up?
Yes, you should have done that one last.
Okay, I'm sorry. Wait, do you remember the question, Dylan?
It was who's your daddy?
No, who's your daddy would like to know if you join the circus, what stunt would you like to perform?
Oh, I want to get eaten by the lions.
Lion eaten.
Yes, just live. Just it's a one-time thing. Like, all right, guys.
Eating once, making the money, get
Yeah.
out.
That's a
Of
mood.
No,
there. I love that.
just lie
Okay.
down in the middle of the ring and let him go to town. I don't care.
Be the Infinity. Let's see. We got a question here from Fedora the Explorer, and they would like to know what advice would you give your parents if you can go back in time and give your parents advice before your parents were parents?
Don't. Just stop what you're doing right now.
Oh, so you're gonna visit them in the middle of
Jeremy,
sex and
please.
say, "Stop this!
Oh God!
Stop it.
I don't want this.
Don't.
I didn't ask for this."
Stop it! Just
Do
finger
not
right
ask
in your.
go.
It's me, your child.
Stop.
I don't.
I
want
did
this.
not ask to be alive, and honestly, I want a refund. This has been a terrible, terrible ride. Thank you.
That's fair.
Mulligan
Fair
on this. Wait for tomorrow night. It'll be someone else.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, let's see. Skate boy. Yellow Snowman would like to know if you could travel to the future and be there for your own funeral, would you want to?
Yeah, because I would probably be the only one there.
Hell yeah.
I would want at least someone at my funeral, so it may as well be me. Because I am my biggest fan and the person that I love the most.
But if you were dead, you wouldn't know people were or weren't there. If you were alive, you would know that you were the only person at your own funeral.
Yeah, well, I know that anyway. I know that that's going to be the case anyway. So I may as well be the one who's there.
It's a bummer
Okay.
answers we're all given. Let's
Yeah, really.
I'm into it. No,
This
it's
was
my
I'll
turn.
go to your
this was
funeral.
funny.
I'll do you a
all right.
favor.
Wow.
I'll go to your funeral. I will.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Are you saying Are you saying I'm gonna die like soon or something?
I'm not. Listen.
There's
For
no
legal
accounting for
reasons, that's not what I'm
micrometeors.
saying.
Okay, let's see if I can find a question that would be funny.
Yeah, let's find one that's not about that can't be turned into a death
Morbid?
thing.
Okay. Unfinished sentence would like to know, which is not sentence all the way.
Love
Road rash. If you could put wings on any kind of animal, what animal would you choose? Now, how are you going to put death into this one, you piece of shit?
I came up with one. It was the first thing that I thought of.
I don't know, probably like either a highly venomous snake so no one's safe, or a pig just to cause trouble.
All right, let's just go round table with this one because I'm not sure if we can get dark on this one. So, be the infinity.
Lobster.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
I love that. Good answer and super
Weird.
fast for some reason. Skate Terror Boy.
I was also thinking aquatic, but I was thinking more crocodiles, so they could just like fly over
It's
you.
just a
and
dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just a
true.
dragon.
Yeah. So, we're
But
gonna
like
make dragons.
with like
we're having
feathery
dragons.
bird wings instead.
Okay. Tiny ones, like tiny little wings, so it's flying like this.
Yes.
Front and bottom,
Yes.
like, yeah.
All right, let's get into one more round of aggressively dark questions.
It's the answers that are dark. The questions aren't dark necessarily.
Let's
Except for the
see.
funeral.
No, we
one.
just need more
Thanks.
Oh
therapy.
yeah.
No, that's fair.
Thanks a
Be the
lot.
infinity.
right.
Anonymous would like to know which deceased person would you choose to haunt you?
Cool.
I'm not. I know this should be. I would actually pick Robin Williams. I feel like that would be a really fun haunting. Actually,
Yeah,
like
no, I agree.
like in all seriousness, I think he would be a fantastic ghost, and I loved him. Yeah, Robin Williams.
No, I'm okay with that.
You can haunt me any day.
Okay, Skater Boy. Magic School Bus Dropout would like to know. Let's see. If you could be reincarnated as an animal or a human being, which would you choose and what kind?
Animal, any sort of house cat, just a house cat.
Yeah.
I just want to be a friggin' house cat, and I know that that's not super funny, but goddamn, how fun would it be to just be a cat laying around all day, getting fed whenever you want to? Great, what a great life.
Yeah, I'm into that. House cat. Okay, let's see. Last question for Road Rash. Banana Hammock would like to know what food would you be if you were food?
I mean, I'm already a snack, so the question's not relevant.
God,
I hate all of you. B, next episode is just me and you. We're going to talk about death the whole time. Okay, so let's get on with what we do in the show. Now, in this show, we watch the first episode of something and the very last episode of something and just make up a whole bunch of shit in the middle based on some questions that I want to know. B suggested Skate the Infinity. Came out in 2021. Very cool show. Let's see. Wikipedia says that it is a Japanese original anime television series produced and animated by Bones that aired in January to April 2021. That actually doesn't say anything about the plot. So here's the plot. In Okinawa, a group of hardcore skaters participate in a secret no-holds-barred competition after midnight known as S, racing each other on skateboards down a winding road carved out of an abandoned mine and occasionally forming rivalries, also known as beefs. Reki, a high school sophomore and hardcore skater, takes the new transfer student Langa to S one night, ends up pulling him into the world of skateboarding. So let's see. Road Rash. I know I kind of just went over it, but briefly, episode 1.
Yes. Let me see. Reki skates against Shadow, who kind of looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh villain. Reki himself looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh Reki looks like a Digimon character. Shadow looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh villain. Reki loses because Shadow throws some fireworks at him, so you can see dirty tricks abound. Blue-haired Canadian comes to town. His name is Langa. Reki takes him under his wing. They kind of like talk about skateboarding a little bit, I think. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know how to skateboard." So they get him in S. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention, but for some reason they're like, "Hey, you should try this underground skateboarding competition." No, they don't do that.
No.
Longa's like,
so
I should
wrong.
try this under. He gets conscripted. No. Okay. I missed part of the middle of the show, but long story short, they get Longa into the competition. They have to tape him to the skateboard, and he like comically can't skateboard for a little bit, and then you find out he's a snowboarder, and he's like, "Oh, this reminds me of snowboarding," and he kicks Shadow's ass.
Yeah, because those two skills apparently don't match up. Like he treats it like, how could I possibly do this? But it's like, oh, he's a great snowboarder.
I'd like to phone a friend for the middle of the episode.
Yeah, okay.
I think I was doing something while this was on or something.
You have one thing to do, and it's watch a show.
I can't do one thing at a time.
Yeah, Digimon has a job at a skateboard shop.
That's it.
Lasagna is looking for a job.
Yeah, man, he wants a job bad. Preferably pays high.
Yes.
Part-time, high wage.
He gets the job at the skate shop. They're delivering a board to somebody who's at S. And for some reason, he feels like he needs to, because Digimon guy's arm is broken, so he can't skate. So he says, Lasagna says, you can't do this because you're injured. I'm going to do it, even though I've never seen something even remotely resembling a skateboard before, even though I'm a snowboarder. I'm going to duct tape my feet to this skateboard like it's a snowboard. And then I'll be wobbly at first, pushing myself with my hands, which is hilarious and adorable.
So funny.
But then once I figure out that it's literally 1-to-1, I'm going to be great at this.
Yeah. There was that one line where when Lasagna like taped his feet to the board, they're like, "You can't do this," and one guy's like, "You stepped on a board. You have to race now. That's the rules." And it's like, all right, well, that's fine. Yeah, and then the race ensues, and the skateboarder Lasagna crushes it. Which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's like, man, I don't know how to do this. This board's shorter and it has wheels on it. But wait a minute, I know exactly how to do this. All right, so Be the Infinity. We're going to hop on down to the last episode, which is episode number 12, aka Our Infinity. And would you mind giving me a brief rundown of what happens in the very last episode?
Okay. So it starts off with the character Adam, who is the sassiest, most flamboyant thing in the entire world, and he's terrible and awful and disgusting, and good God, I would do anything for this man. I love him so much. And he just tap dances into a tailor shop and is like, I need a new suit. And he's like, we don't do that. And he's like, oh, dang, well, I still need a new suit. And then it kind of cuts to Longa and Riki. Why am I wanting to call him Riki? Reki. You guys have me like thinking like lasagna too. You guys are awful. He ruined me. Cuts back to them. They're talking. It's honestly not that important. Just talking about like, oh wow, you fixed up my skateboard. Thank you so much. And then it just goes to S. They're at S, and Longa's gonna face off against Adam. And the course is very different because Adam is very extra and insisted. And then they skate. They skate, and I mean, there's not much to say about it except that like Adam
is in zone though.
They go
enter the zone,
which is apparently a thing that you can do if you're an athlete. I don't know. I'm not an athlete. I've never been in the zone. But it's basically a tunnel of multicolored lights. Anyway,
yes.
And then Longa is able to snap out of it because he remembers, wow, skateboarding is fun. I have fun with this. And that's the whole point. Fun.
And he remembers it because the word fun is on his skateboard.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And there's a good reason for it in the show, but I'm not going to get into it. because this is no time to binge and we don't have time for that. Yes. So anyway, Ranga wins and it's very gay. The end. Yeah.
So I think the part of the last episode I liked the most was when Adam needed that power up and he punched his coffin skateboard and turned into a cross skateboard. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. He's going from death to life. That guy's got it made. The beginning, he walks in, he's like, I need a new costume. And the guy's like, I don't make costumes. I only make suits. And he's like, fine, then I'll take a suit. And the guy's like, is it for a wedding? He's like, no, it's for a... and just lightning. I'm like, all right, I'm so into this. I also like the fact that there's really no rules, right, when it comes to skateboarding.
No,
apparently not.
They just like hit each other.
Yeah,
it's
there's no real course.
And they run, like they get off the skateboards and run.
You can run, and they can run faster than they can skateboard.
Yes,
because they get off and run to something and then use those. So is it a battle or is it just a race where you can do whatever you want, right? Like you don't need to.
It's a race and you can do whatever you want. No, you don't have to.
It also seems like there's no real.
Certainly makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it seems like there's no real course either, right? Like you can kind of go any way you want to go as long as you kind of get to the finish line around the same. Right, because they bounce off walls and ramp off.
Basically, you can skip ahead.
Yeah, I like that.
Bunch of,
okay, so when we watched the last episode, we saw a couple things. We saw, the emergence of Adam, who's got a beautiful face plate on for some reason. Actually, let's just skip ahead to that. Yeah, let's just skip ahead of that question. My third question was going to be. Skip the first two because they're not.
You didn't need to say that. You could have said your first question is this and then just went back to question one.
Well, my question one was way cooler. But we're going to get to that because now I know to do cooler questions later on.
Thank you.
But okay, so Adam has a mask on, right? And it's for a pretty specific reason. Road rash. What is the reason Adam wears that mask?
It's how he gets his like necromantic skateboard powers.
That locks him into the dead world.
Yeah, it doesn't get him to the zone, but it definitely helps him access the powers of the dead skaters who came before him.
Yeah, I don't think that's 100% accurate. Skater boy.
Yeah.
Why does Adam wear that? Why does Adam wear that faceplate?
Well, it does have to do with the necromancy powers. But he has so much necromancy like in him that the mask is keeping it inside, but it has the slats, so at least a little bit can come out because he is using the power from the skaters who died doing S.
Yeah.
But he can't use it all or else he'll be too powerful. And you know what happens in anime when somebody is a god, like a bunch of teenagers come in and destroy him. So he didn't want to get too powerful, just powerful enough to win the skateboard tournament.
See, that's the answer I was looking for, road rash, just so you know. I'm sorry. B, Adam reveals in the last episode his new skateboard, which is a coffin / cross. Which was not his coolest skateboard of the season.
No.
What was the coolest skateboard that Adam had throughout this season?
Personally, I think I like the one that was shaped like a dick and vibrated. That was my favorite. I thought it was really neat. Now specifically like the ones that he had, right?
Yeah.
Like those we were talking about. Yeah, no, he had
Adam's,
a cool one, but I really enjoy the dick.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
And from what I understand, that was the first time that we saw someone sit down on a skateboard and use their hands to push because it was vibrating. Road rash.
First time.
That wasn't the first time? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No.
All right. I'm sorry. Road rash.
My favorite one is during one of the like episodes where they reveal his resources, where he constantly has his corporate goons come in and be his skateboard. Like he falls off and he's like, now, and then a guy runs in just and planks, and he hops on and gets going.
Yeah.
Cool little
Skater
like,
boy.
Yeah,
No,
mob
I like
thing.
that. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
kind of mean, but also sexy.
Oh, it's a character moment.
That's fair.
Yeah, I like the one where he put the trucks and the wheels on a chainsaw, and then he not only used the exhaust to get him going faster, but he would also cut the Achilles tendons of his competitors with the chainsaw part, which I like.
Valid. Yeah.
I know that I know that like anime is known, to be gory and stuff, but like the way that they slow mode on it and showed like every little inch of the tendon, like just shredding, and it was,
Just
pretty
snapping.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed that they managed to do a redemption story for him after everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and honestly, like if you're gonna bring weapons to a skate race, make your skateboard a weapon. That just seems to make sense.
I don't think he did anything. I don't think he did anything super wrong. When you're in a skateboard competition where there's no rules and you can do anything you have to win, you do what you have to win.
I'm pretty sure they mean no codified rules, but you still have to follow like social mores.
No. No, episode
Yeah, if
1,
you're
the guy threw
loser.
grenades. The guy threw grenades in somebody's face.
Yeah, I know.
You're
Well, the
allowed to ride a
firecrackers.
chainsaw.
Well,
firecrackers are just small grenades.
He did use the grenades later.
Oh, I thought we were
Yeah,
just talking about episode 1.
No, that was a chainsaw grenade.
Okay.
Now we also see a bunch of skate gangs in this show, which is cool because it's kind of like warriors in a modern day on skateboards. Which I thought was, it was a cool twist because these are some wild gangs that I had could not even conceive of. What was some of the favorite gangs that you guys saw in these very, very long 12 episodes? Skater Boy.
I liked the one where they delved into the fish people who had the gills. They had their lungs surgically taken away from their like tracheas, and they had the gills added to their necks, and they had their lungs go to the gills. They still couldn't breathe underwater, so it seemed excessive to do that, but they wanted to be as much like fish as they could. They got the fins grafted, and they were very good swimmers, which did come in handy in that one episode where they got to the bottom of the mine shaft and it was flooded.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about that episode later, but I really like the fish people. They also had the shark skeletons that they used for their skateboards, which I thought was cool because it was cartilage. So like it kind of bent, and it did help them. I mean, it didn't help them enough to get to the finals, but they got a lot further than you would think that some fish people would get in a skateboard competition.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, using like real skeletons was kind of cool. I mean, it was weird that like they made sure to let us know that they were like rotting corpses that they were riding on. But I still like it because it was fishy. Yeah.
And it did help against the chainsaw too, because it was up off the ground and the chainsaw was hitting the fish, the shark parts instead of the fish people parts.
Yeah. Be the Infinity. How about your favorite gang? I know you love this show.
Yeah, no, I love the show. My favorite was actually the roving gang of PTA moms called the Karen. Yeah. It was fun. They were each named Karen, and like they had like the big Karen haircut, and they always wanted to speak to your manager. That was like their attack in the middle of a thing, and they all had like wine-shaped boards. It was really fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
It was cute. I thought it was interesting how they because they brought their own motivation. They're like, hey, there's a Starbucks at the bottom of this hill. We got to talk to this manager. And they would just zoom down there.
Yeah.
Or like, oh my God, my husband forgot to pick up our kids. The school's down there. I
hated them.
PTA meeting in 5 minutes. Yeah.
I hated them way more than Adam. I thought they should have been the final sort of boss of the show.
Yeah.
And as far as gangs go, I mean, they all had the same uniform. They all had the same exact look. And I thought, I was like, man, that's
in the same name.
Yeah.
They all just happened to be named Karen.
Yeah, and they all had basic written across the butt of their gray like mom sweatpants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lululemons, yeah.
Yeah. Road Rash, how about you?
I mean, I like a celebrity cameo, so for me it was the Phony Hawks. Now they were a little outmatched because this is a race instead of like a half pipe like trick just exhibit, and they got eliminated early on, but they could only afford Tony Hawk clearly for like 15 minutes. So
yeah,
I thought it was a nice little kind of cameo. Yeah.
It was because the thing is like when you think about Tony Hawk, you think about all right, skateboard tricks, but there was no tricks. This is a race, so like okay, you're just using his shoes and his hair, but I get it. As a kid from the '80s, like I get it.
It was nice to hear Superman by Goldfinger.
I only know Tony Hawk from the video games, and of course Downhill Jam are the best ones. Everybody knows that Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam is the best skateboarding game. So I thought it fit in very well. I was surprised that they didn't have him as much as they did.
Was that the best Tony Hawk
Michael's
game?
Factually incorrect.
Yeah. I don't think that was the best game. Bam Margera wasn't in that game. So
World Destruction Tour.
I love the way you say that. Tour.
Yeah. I'll say it anytime.
Say it again.
No.
All right. So we also see in the very last episode that Shadow is messed up. He's in a wheelchair. He's got bandages on his head. And from what we learned, he takes savage beatings in every single episode of this. Road Rash. What was your favorite or just most memorable absolute ass kicking that Shadow takes?
It's the long walk to the coffee shop in Shadow's Day Out where like everything goes poorly for him. Like going to put on the face, jabs himself in the eye, gets on the board because their eyes a little weird, goes out into traffic, gets up, goes to the coffee shop, barista turns around and accidentally gets him in the face with hot coffee. And it's just, you don't see a lot of slapstick no, anime has a fair amount of slapstick, but I wasn't expecting it in this one because up until now it had been kind of like a drama.
Oh yeah, I mean it was odd that he like just walked into the construction zone and got up on that rising thing. It's like I thought this was a skating show.
Very Mr. Magoo, which is weird.
It was Magoo-ish.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that people are still using cranes to get grand pianos up to like the 17th floor of an apartment building, but there it was. Fell right on him. Gave him a big smile, and the keys were there, and played a little ditty, and then fell out.
In that box of anvils, it's like, well, this is obviously going to fall, but I'm excited to see how. Yeah, I like that one. Be the Infinity. How about you?
Personally, I liked when he got absolutely demolished by the Karens. All they had to say is like, I would like to speak to your manager, and he immediately just collapsed. The poor thing. The poor thing, he got fired from his job. He like lost his house. It was really more of like an emotional like beating. Yeah. But you know what? It was fun to watch at the very least. Yeah, the poor thing.
Those do take the longest to heal.
What?
I said the emotional ones do take the longest to heal. So yeah, that is. Skater Boy, how about you? I know you're a fan of a good old fashioned ass kicking.
I love a good old fashioned ass kicking. I thought there was sort of an episode where they took all the most heinous beatings from like all these movies. So like at one point it opens up and Shadow like gets out of bed and he walks down, and in the lobby of his apartment building, there's 4 guys in like white costumes with bowler hats and one long eyelash, and they just beat him senseless with their canes. And then he goes outside and there's a skinhead waiting for him who like knocks him out, puts his teeth against the curb, and then like stomps the back of his head. Luckily, this is all cartoon violence, so it all doesn't like. And then we got the family who is like he stumbles into their house, and there's the big guy with like a weird mask on, and then like his hillbilly inbred family. And they're like, Grandpa, you're the best with the sledge. And the old guy in the wheelchair just like gets up because he gets the power from the sledgehammer and just like absolutely smashes his head in. I don't know how he survived that episode, but by the end of it, he just had the bandage wrapped around the top of his head. And it was like, oh, that was a terrible day. But it's like, you got killed like 6 times during that episode, dude.
Yeah. You really took it, but you took it like a champ, though. I did like how most of that like kind of changed up a little bit of the animation style. It made me feel like how Natural Born Killers was from time to time. Now, obviously, we see that the mine shaft in the first episode, well, after the first episode, gets flooded, as we talked about earlier. So we had to have a bunch of different places for S Race. Dylan, Road Rash. Road Rash Master. No, yeah. It doesn't work. Where was the favorite race setting that you like the most out of all the races here?
Man, there are a lot to choose from. Like
so many to choose from.
Well, I like shows where they have like the same event take place in various venues and then they trick it around a lot. When they go up to the International Space Station and they take advantage of all the microgravity, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. You know, like they're doing like 7,200, like,
yeah.
The one guy tries to re-enter the atmosphere and burns up because his board isn't at the right angle.
Yeah.
Just some really like creative kind of like, you know, sci-fi stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm into that. That's cool. How about you, B?
I think my favorite one was when they went through the retirement home. And we got like grannies on skateboards everywhere, and like they taught the old people how to skate. It made them like younger. It made them feel younger. It was very wholesome, the whole thing. It is too bad about when they accidentally broke that like old man's hip and he died.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. But I think it was a really fun episode, very lighthearted, if you ignore the old people death.
Yeah, I mean, sepsis is a real thing, and I'm glad that it didn't glaze over that with animation.
Oh yeah.
Skater Boy, how about you?
I was gonna say the junkyard, the very special episode where they skated through the junkyard and then one of them pushed the other one into the old refrigerator and it locked from the inside and he couldn't get out. But I think I liked the one where they made the life-size Hot Wheels track with all the loop-de-loops and know the hard curves and it just went like into the water and it was like so cool, but like 3 people got through it. It's like you don't realize how much speed you need to get around one of those loop-de-loops, and they just made them too big, so they're like almost halfway up and then they just boom fell.
Yeah,
again, the good anime gore where they hit the ground and then just sort of explode.
Yeah.
There was that one racer who skittered off the track under the oven. Like that was like very true to life.
Yeah,
very bad. The one where like the one guy set up the fishing wire across the thing.
Oh god, yeah.
And you thought that the one guy won, but as he crossed the finish line, his bottom half just kept going and his top half just fell off. One of my favorite tropes from anime, but
I do love when
fun to watch
when Adam says "Go fish" as he crosses the finish line.
And that one fish person from the other episode is like, "Hey
now,
yeah."
That was the episode where the fish people got kicked out of the tournament because that was the one, that they lost.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one said the snow level, because when Lango, when he had his skateboard taped to his feet and he's going down that snow hill, he's like, this feels familiar. I wish there was a way I could do this better. And then he like rips the his trucks off and he's like starts snowboarding. It's like, but this guy's also a good snowboarder. And they're like, wait, we should know that already. But I don't know. That could have been a prequel. I have no idea.
But it was still an ice level.
Yeah.
So it's always annoying when the characters can't stop when they're supposed to and they keep sliding after you like that they're supposed to stop, and they just keep going, and it's like people are falling off of jumps that should be easily makeable, but because it's a stupid ice level, they die.
I do. Yeah. And we know that Longa needs some money, right? I mean, every episode he's like, I need money. I need money. I need another job because I need money. But we also find out that he's got a couple addiction problems. He's got some real money issues. Skater Boy, what did you think was the most upsetting reason Longa was needing money in one episode?
Well, you may have noticed that Lasagna was the protagonist for 2 of the very good Castlevania games on the Nintendo DS, and one of them was on the Game Boy Advance. And he steals the souls from the things that he kills. And unfortunately, he needs more power. He feels like he keeps needing more power and more power and more power, but he can't kill the things that he needs to get the power that he needs. So he needs to keep going back to the weapon shop and buying the good weapons because he's not getting the drops that he needs. So he buys these weapons and then he just destroys them. But you can see that he just needs that power, and without it, he feels like he's nothing, and he won't go see his therapist about it. But he says, no, if I just get this dragon soul, I'll feel better. And then he gets the dragon soul and he's like, well, but I saw the Hydra in there and I need that Hydra soul. And you could see him just get worse and worse as the season went.
It sounds like a what if episode.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
What if Lasagna is actually the reincarnation of Dracula?
Yeah,
Yes.
and his son Agnol, right? Because the Dracula's son is like Alucard or whatever.
Alucard, yes.
Yeah, which is Lagnol.
Which B knows.
Yeah, B knows that.
No.
B, same question. Monetarily, Langa is addicted to things, which is why he needs a job. What is your least favorite addiction that the Langa needs money for, and not dragon souls or Hydra
least
souls?
favorite?
Yeah,
My least favorite addiction,
upsetting,
probably his online gambling addiction. It just seemed a little bit predictable. I mean, I know he has some problems. I mean, but the poor Canadian.
And also,
how
do you bet on Candy Crush? That's like such a weird game to be monetarily addicted to.
I don't know how he was in so much debt from that, but like the like mafia got involved and everything. It was a mess. Poor Longa. Poor Lasagna. Ugh.
Road Rash, same question. Most upsetting addiction.
It was weird when they had several episodes dedicated to his need to throw themed parties for his friends. He rents out the Italian restaurant, which is of course why we're all calling him Lasagna. And they play Hey Mambo Italiano the entire time. They do the pirate ship. They do the Dutch mini golf course. They do the Wall Street party, which was like the movie, not the stockbroking, like the Michael Douglas movie.
Yeah.
They do the There Will Be Blood party.
A lot of milkshakes.
A lot of milkshakes, a lot of suits, and then they spray oil all over everybody, but not in like a sexy way.
Everybody was drinking each other's milkshakes.
Yeah.
With the long straws.
They do a Sonic the Hedgehog party, which was gross the way they decided to do it. They go to Comic-Con as like a party.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I understand showing your friends a good time and like inviting them to things. Sure. Love language is you're an event hoster or something. But at a certain point, man, you got to leave the Olive Garden. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It was weird because it was like several episodes without any skating.
Yeah, just a lot of soup, salads, and breadsticks.
Yeah. Well, if you were paying attention, it was because when you're there, your family.
Oh,
So
Really?
he was missing his father. So
I mean, I understand why he did it. My
Oh,
issue
his
is that they
dad
did
works-
it at all.
Oh, because his dad worked at Olive Garden.
His dad was a Mountie.
No,
No? Oh.
no.
I didn't pay a whole lot of attention while watching.
Well, that's
this.
why when he was at Olive Garden, he's with his family because his dad was like a sous chef or
You
something.
know, when you're here, you're here.
Yeah. Let's see. So Reiki,
Reki.
Reiki,
yeah, Wreck-It
It rhymes
Ralph.
with Shrekky.
Shrekky. So
Yes,
Shrekky,
Shrekky.
Shrekky, as we know, because he messed up that initial delivery and he brought that bad board to the guy instead. He's got a lot of nightmares throughout this entire season, and the nightmares really haunt him. And it's a reason that he never skates again. Some of these nightmares were absolutely terrifying, mostly because it's animation and drawn. Now, Road Rash, what was your favorite or most memorable nightmare that Shrekky has?
I regret giving him that name. Now I can't keep a straight face. It's the one where he dreams that he's on vacation in Britain, and he's on a skateboard. It's a longboard. He's on his longboard, and he's in the tunnel, and then someone puts their arms around him, and he looks back, and it's Princess Diana, and he realizes, oh shit, I'm the driver, and it proceeds as you would probably imagine, but with a longboard instead of a car.
So Princess Diana was on the back of his board, and he's going into the tunnel, and he's like, "Oh, I know how this is going to go." And then there's
you can't avoid it because it's a dream,
right?
Yeah.
And then his longboard crashes into a car while people are taking pictures of him.
Yeah,
We'll have to sink in for a second.
Yeah.
That was a good. That was a good one. I mean,
That was a good one.
as far as being memorable.
That was tough because I know exactly where I was when Princess Diana,
Yeah, we know. Yeah,
and
rest in peace.
That was tough. That was a
Too
tough
soon
moment.
for a Princess Diana joke.
Yeah, I think so.
1994.
Dylan, you've been to my house. Don't act like you don't.
You do have that shrine. No, that's true. Yeah. Sorry, on this show it's too soon.
We need 2 more years. It's a 30-year moratorium on jokes about dead.
That's why we do this live, so Zach can go back and cut out all the problematic stuff I say.
Yeah, everything I get upset about Dylan saying.
This show is going to be 6 minutes long.
I'm so upset. Stop talking about Princess Di. B, how about you? Most memorable nightmare that Shrekky has.
Okay, well, I mean, I was gonna say the Princess Diana one because honestly, that was haunting. But now I got to change my answers because that was the best one. But I'm gonna say now that you mentioned Shrekky, I'm gonna say it was the Shrek dream. You know, the one where he is taking the place of Princess Fiona.
Oh yeah.
And like Shrek comes up behind him while he's like skateboarding, and he like puts his hands on her. Well, it's her in a dream. He becomes Princess Fiona on their shoulders, like licks her face and says, "Get out of my swamp." That was
and it was the human, and it was the human version of Shrek too, which was even worse.
It was. It was like from the musical Shrek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Such a long.
I mean, like I'm not surprised that you like didn't think of that one immediately because I tried to erase it from my own memory with a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Such a long tongue on that human Shrek too.
Yeah. Like that is obviously not a human tongue. That's an ogre tongue. Get that out of your mouth. And like the one where it's like human Shrek massaging green Shrek, and it's like, what am I watching right now? Yeah, that's crazy. Skater Boy, same question. Most memorable nightmare that Shrekky has.
I don't know if you would call it a nightmare, but it was the one where he was in a Marvel Universe movie, and he was Skateboard Man, and there was like he would skateboard through New York City. And he would take turns too fast, and it would blow out the corner of the building, and then the whole building would topple over. And then, he would ramp up, through the park and things would fall on top of like the people who were in the park, and like nobody cared. It seemed to just get glossed over, and it's like, well, no, he's Skateboard Man. He can do whatever he has to do to save, you know, the greater good. But thousands of people still died in that dream. But he was portrayed as the good guy, so nobody cared that he was doing terrible crimes.
Yeah, I mean, it was his dream, so obviously he's going to be the hero. But it was odd because it seemed like his villain was just independent, like local businesses.
Yeah,
and it's like, how are those villains?
Yeah, it was all of the like single moms just trying to live their lives were the villains, and you know, the children at the park were the villains, and you know, the old men fishing around the pond. You know, that he made the tidal wave come up and just swallow them all up. And it was just like, well, they were doing crimes, so whatever I do is justified.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I got 2 questions left, right? Things I just need to know. As we see in episode 1, Langa, he learns that he might be good at skateboarding because he's good at, you know, snow surfing.
But that's what you call it.
Yeah,
that's what I call it. I'm from the East Coast. I know it's called snow surfing. Now, but he tries a couple different styles of vehicles before he's like, I'm gonna stick with the skateboard racing. Now, what style of alternate vehicle did you think he was going to do the best at if it wasn't for skateboarding? Road Rash.
Hot dog mobile.
That wasn't
absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I mean, you get out of the way.
Yeah.
There's no stopping that thing.
But it was odd that he didn't know how to drive a stick shift. So he was like popping the clutch and ask people to push him.
I mean, the stick shift was shaped like a hot dog, so it's kind of weird, but
yeah,
you know, I get it.
They drew that thing so realistic too. Like, why have a stick shift glistening like that? Like, is that whatever? Skater Boy.
I thought since he was Canadian and they sort of went into his Nordic roots a little bit, I thought that the moment that he got onto that log and he just started just walking on the log sideways and it was just rolling down, I was like, of course, because he picked that up immediately. But he only did it that once. Yeah. So I thought that was going to be what they stuck with instead of the snowboarding, but they just sort of glazed over it. They just let it go.
Yeah, because that's one hot ass lumberjack. Just let it go.
Yeah, you couldn't hold him back anymore.
Yeah.
Be the Infinity.
The tricycle, like the children's tricycle, and it was getting into competitive tricycle racing against those toddlers. And he was pretty good. He absolutely wiped the floor with those 4-year-olds, but it just wasn't really his calling. But I would honestly like to see an entire anime about competitive tricycle racing personally. Get into it, animators.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah,
we're watching.
Seriously, we're tired of saying it. We're tired of saying it. Rather see it. Give us more tricycle racing.
Yes.
Yeah.
More tricycle racing with adults, because it is a sports anime still, and we do want to see those boys kissing.
Yeah. You don't need muscles to do sports. I'll look at muscles, but you don't need them. Show me tricycles. Okay, so Dylan, Road Rash, my good friend. Double R, Road Rash.
Yep.
Good old Double R. Now, season 2 of this. Obviously, this is only season 1. It came out last year. We're not sure if there's going to be a season 2 or not. If there was a season 2, biggest plot hole they got to figure out in this next season.
Oh, man. I mean, what happened to the dog?
Which dog?
The skateboarding dog.
No, there were 3 of them. Which one?
The one that was the head when they were in the trench coat.
Oh.
Yeah, the head dog.
What happened to the head?
Yeah, no, like it's like, hey, weren't there 3 of you? And they just go, huh?
Yeah,
and
just sideways head, like, yeah, that's cute. It's not going to get you at everything.
Which, okay, I guess for the people out there who care, it's not a plot hole; it's just an unanswered question. But
hey, that's a plot hole, my friend.
Sure. Yeah,
I don't know
what happened to the head dog?
All right, where's the head? Give me the head. B the Infinity plot hole needs to get figured out by season 2.
I mean, it's not necessarily a plot hole, but we did not get boys kissing, and honestly, that's why I went into this.
Yeah.
Where's the kiss?
Seriously, bunch of hand jobs, no kissing.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weirdly explicit, but like no kisses.
Yeah. You're right. Perfect amount of hand jobs.
Yeah.
No kissing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just like high school.
Where's the smooching? Where's the boy smooching?
Skater boy, how about you? Where's plot holes? Where the holes be at?
Adam was obviously a vampire.
Yeah.
He had the teeth. He wore the cape. He
glowing
was
red eyes.
He was extra dramatic. Every movement that he made.
He's a politician, so
they did never show him drinking anyone. I would like him to actually turn one of the main characters. This isn't, again, not a plot hole, because this show didn't have too many plot holes.
Yeah, true.
Besides not figuring out what happened with the dog, the show didn't have many plot holes. It just had a lot of unanswered questions. So I need a season more? 2. I need to see more kissing, and I need to see Adam drink someone, turn him into a vampire who, one of the main characters, either one, and they're going to have to fight with the other one until the end of the next season, until they also get turned into a vampire and they can kiss forever.
Yeah, true. Yes, B.
I would like to see. I would like to see him turn. You remember when Jack Black voiced that character? Mm-hmm, I would like him to see him get turned in next season. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
that is true.
Get to it, animators.
Because they made him look like a panda with abs, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this, but I need to see you get drank.
I need to see you be a vampire too. Yeah,
a wide glass of water.
Drink other people.
And Adam and Pooh, I think was his name, the ab panda. I need to see them kiss.
Yeah, stop jerking each other off and just kiss on the lips.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess obviously the most important question is, would you guys find time to binge this show? B, will you binge watch this show?
No. I'm kidding, yes.
Lies.
I'm kidding, yes.
Lies. Yes, filthy lies.
I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think the real question for B is, would you binge this for the 6th time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Skater boy, will you find time to binge this show?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to take the rest of the week off of work, and that's what I'm going to do.
And watch just 10 more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
You can get that done tonight. Road Rash.
Probably not. I'm not a huge skateboarding fan. If it was about like rollerblades, sure.
That's true.
But I mean,
they did have that gang of rollerbladers.
Yeah, but focus on them. Do a spinoff. I don't know. I'd binge that.
Yeah, true. I mean, because if you can get together and do like a Voltron style bird thing, give it, especially on rollerblades. That's cool.
There's a show I can send you. There's an anime for everything.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do next week, we're going to let Dylan decide, because we need a bad show to watch.
Sure.
Every time B chooses a show, it's too good to make fun of. So we're going to do a bad show. That's okay. Dylan chose Hemlock Grove on Netflix. I don't know anything about this show, but I think that it's about werewolves in a gated community.
It's about werewolves in like the South, and it's not good. And it's got Famke Janssen as like the lead.
I like Famke Janssen.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that. All right, so if you want to help us out and find out if we should take time to binge watch Hemlock Grove, just watch the very first episode, very last episode of that on Netflix, and tune in next episode, and I'll ask you some stupid questions. So I think that's pretty much it, right? So until next time, guys, be the Infinity. Where can people hear you?
So you can listen to Deep Lore and Is This Podcast a JoJo reference? You can follow my Instagram b.bethy, where I post my very cringy cosplay content, or you can actually follow my other Instagram account, Blackjacks for Jack Black. That's our Twitter, Queen Bethy P.
Yeah. Check out that Instagram because they got some followers. Skater Boy, where can people hear all of your weird thoughts?
Jack Billings presents Haunted Apartment Complex on the Podmoth Network. It's a scripted comedy podcast about crazy ghosts and werewolves and magicians. And it has had and shall have in the future everyone on this panel. And you can also hear me on PowerPoint Showdown, which is on the Some Nobodies YouTube channel, and a couple of other things that are coming in the future that I'm not going to talk about now. Yeah, you can follow me on at my neighbor MICH1 on Twitter, or at Jack Billings Presents on Instagram.
Hell yeah. Mr. Road Rash.
Yeah, you can find me at all of the Some Nobody stuff. This show, PowerPoint Showdown, Talking Upstream, Twitching Upstream, the interview, and then story development podcasts that are kind of partner podcasts. We also have some fictional stuff out there like Silicon Angels, CYOP Appeal, Create Your Own Podventure, Branch and Storyline. We're doing a second season at some point soon. I'm going to finish that script, I promise. We got some other stuff in development. I don't think I'm missing anything.
No, nothing important.
No, follow me on Twitter at Vorpal_words. I'm there sometimes.
Yeah. And if you're looking for me, find Dylan. He'll tell you where I'm at. You can find me on Twitter at corporal_nerds. Or just open up any old Tamagotchi that you find or somebody else's cell phone and type in Some Nobodies, because that's where the good content is. And if you're in B's area, hop into any Uber and you can probably find this show. Until next time, everyone, I don't know, find some time to binge something, preferably one of our stuff. So we'll see you next week, everybody, or next show.
Well, whenever.
We'll talk. You can listen to us too.
And now for something completely different.
I look a woman up and down and I say,
I'm coming to join you, bitch.
Oh, that too far?
Oh, you want to get into things?
Well, I mean...
No. Let's get into things. Let's get real. Everybody, BoJack wants to get real. Cancel the bubble round, because we're getting real.